Aloha offline sharks. How we doing, everybody? Welcome to the Aloha Friday Marketing Jam Session. I'm Tom Gaddis. Got my business partner, Nick Ponte, on the call as well. Welcome. We're settling in for an exciting hour of local marketing. We're actually going to be talking about the Great Resignation today. Maybe you've heard of it. Maybe you haven't. We're going to be talking about some strategies around that and a lot more on this Aloha Friday Marketing Jam Session. Give away some Cash App money. Just have an all-around good time, right, Nick? An all-around good time. So I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to cue up the intro, and we'll see you back here in just a few momentos.
Ready for the fastest 60 minutes of strategies and tactics to build your remote business from anywhere in the world? It's now time, the moment you've been waiting for. After 167 agonizing hours, they've returned. Now, back for a brand new Sharks Live show. It's your hosts, the Offline Sharks, Tom Gaddis and Nick Ponte.
Hey, how's everybody doing out there? Welcome. We are back. Nick will be with us shortly. Heard the applause out there. It's a good sounding crowd. Good sounding crowd. Welcome, buddy. Let me fire up the comments here. Oh, I see Cameron's here. Richard, what's up, Richard? Welcome. I see a lot of Facebook users. Hello. Hey, Dave. Welcome, everybody. Excited to be hanging out with you on this lovely Friday afternoon. Timothy, Marvin.
How's Richard? Have you heard from Richard? How's his shoulder doing?
I don't know about his shoulder. I talked to him yesterday on the Remote Millionaires coaching call.
Oh, okay.
He's got a lot of good stuff going on, man. He's cranking away. Awesome to see. Hey, Patty. Patty says, welcome from Chicago.
Hey, Patty.
Dorn says his brain is fired today. I don't know if he means fried or fired.
I know that feeling.
Yeah. How's the lighting look here, Nick? I'm testing out some new lights.
It looks great. I think your lighting looks really good. I think it's a lot better than my lighting. The thing is, with daylight savings time now,
it's jacked up the natural light, hasn't it?
The sun is it's like right over the Statue of Liberty, just shining right in my office, giving me this
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I tried to use the natural light, but because of the way things are positioned in my office, the only natural light is right behind me. And so I could never really get a good thing. So I had to do some different things. So I have Paige and Sophie holding flashlights.
Nice.
Right off camera. You can't see them. So
keep
it steady, girls. Keep it steady. Daddy needs to look good. Well, awesome. We have a great show lined up for you guys today. We're going to talk about, like the email said, we're going to talk about the Great Resignation. Nick's going to share some strategies around that. We'll take your questions. We'll just sort of talk about what you think of it, maybe where you see an opportunity or somebody said laugh out loud flashlights. Yeah. We're also going to do some shout outs. We're going to give away some Cash App money like we always do. So it's going to be a great show. Nick, what's been going on in New York lately?
Well, I just got back, right? I was in Denver the last couple of weeks. So, really it's been a lot of working with our Remote Millionaires partners, which is, our webinar that we did. When was that? Wednesday, the day after I got back. So yeah, just the usual, I think it's kind of funny because we all want to believe there's some real sexy stuff when it comes to building your business and growing your business. But really, when it comes down to it, it's very simple. It's very basic. You have to have a great service and you have to match that service with a customer. And so to do those things, it can be as easy as creating a system around that, templating that process. And for us, really just having a lot of people on our team to help us with both those things, help us with our services, our offers, and help us with our client getting. And, that's really what I always continue to focus on, day in and day out, is just working with the teams to make sure those things are always going, so that when I do go visit my family in Denver, we're getting new clients. We're also losing new clients. Who saw that post about me losing a client the other day? I fired a client, but then the very next day we got another one. And so having those systems, having those teams in place is really what I focus on all the time.
Yeah, the fundamentals are so important. I like what you said on the webinar the other day. I think you used the word basics, but the fundamentals. You mentioned that every top performer out there, everybody that's operating at a high level has their fundamentals dialed in, right? Like that's always the first step. And I agree with you. A lot of people think like, oh, the getting the traction and getting things going requires some new thing, some sexy thing, but it's really about getting the fundamentals in order. Like when you're first starting your business, that's really what you're doing. You're getting, you're slowly implementing fundamental after fundamental after fundamental, then improving those. And then once those fundamentals are locked in, then you can start focusing on some of those more, I don't know what people call them, more advanced things, but always those advanced things. And I know for us in both of the businesses we run, the agency and in Offline Sharks, the fundamentals, getting the fundamentals down, making the fundamentals better has been a bigger needle mover for us in both businesses than any advanced hack, tactic, or little thing we've learned over the years, right? Like those things definitely have a place, and they can definitely make things that are. Here's the thing about advanced strategies that I used to always forget, right? Advanced strategies and what people call hacks and stuff like that, they only work when what you're already doing is good, right? Like you have to already be doing something good. And then when you layer that stuff on, it moves it up, it does better. It doesn't, sometimes it does way better. Sometimes it just does a little better, but it's really the fundamentals that drive the core of everything. And, we talked a lot about that yesterday on the Remote Millionaires coaching call. We were talking about fundamentals, and also another thing we were talking about was the holiday season and things like that. But we can get into all that stuff. But yeah. Awesome. Well, why don't we start off with some, hey, Tom Matson, what's up, buddy? I was just thinking about you the other day. I was like, man, I haven't reached out to Tom in a while. Gosh, I'll send you a message, Tom. I was like, we need to connect again. Because I was just thinking about him the other day.
Yeah, it's good to see him here in our stream.
Yeah, awesome. Well, let's do some shark shout outs, and then we'll dive into some of the content we were going to talk about. So let me move some things around here on my screens so we can, I'm going to move this over here.
Dorn said, when asked how he got to 300 hits, Pete Rose said, focus on the fundamentals. And it's so true, Dorn. The quote that I mentioned on Wednesday was, advanced players never don't do the basics. They always do the basics. So regardless of it, if you're at the $100,000 per year mark, maybe you're making $100,000 per month. Those people, regardless of where they're at, they still always do the basics. So I know a lot of people, like we've already mentioned, they think that at some point you stop doing that, but you really don't. And it may not be you, but somebody in your enterprise, either you or somebody else, is doing it.
Yeah, making sure those things are run along. Awesome. Well, let's do some shark shout outs here. So I'm going to share my screen. So every week we like to celebrate the wins in our community from the week before. And we kind of make this a little game. We make it fun for you guys. So if you go to the link that you see right now on your screen, offlinesharks.com/shoutouts, you're going to see our shout out post inside our Facebook group. So here's what we want you to do. Go to that link, go to the comments, just let those people know, hey, great job, way to go, awesome work. Give them a heck yeah, whatever, a thumbs up, whatever you want to do in those comments that's within reason. Keep it professional. Let them know, great job. And then at the end of the stream, we'll pick out a few people and we'll send them some Cash App money. So we will do that. There's the link. And I'm going to take that link off the screen now. And I'm going to share my screen for our shout outs this week. We got a lot of good shout outs this week. Here we go. All right. There we go. So our shark shout outs this week. Our first one goes to Dennis Mathis. He closed a 550, that's euros. So that's $650 in US dollars a month. So $650 a month SEO deal with a realtor. It's an SEO jumpstart package for 3 months. So getting a foot in the door, getting some foundation, getting those fundamentals set up for them like we've been talking about, right? So congratulations, Dennis. That is awesome work. Way to go. $650 a month. I mean, that's an awesome deal. That's what, a little over $2,000 for 3 months. Nice. Our next shout out goes to Oliver. Oliver's been on a lot of the shout outs lately. He upsold a review badge to an existing client, 99 euros, so $120 a year. Excellent work, Oliver. Excellent work. Then we've got John C. Marks. So John signed a new client, $159.95 a month for a website, local SEO, reputation management, and site maintenance. Awesome work, John. That's a good looking package and a great price for that. And then we've got Marvin Drobe. So Marvin had an existing client purchase the review badge service after hearing about it from a business owner that he referred to Marvin. That's awesome, referrals. And then he got an annual package sold with a 25% discount. So way to go, Marvin. Awesome work, everybody. I mean, those are great shark shout outs. I think that, hold on, let me look at the show notes here, Nick, so I can see. So that's a combined total of just over $2,000. So $2,260. That's based off the numbers that 3 of the sharks out of the 4 shared, right? And that puts our total now over the past 90 days is like over $360,000 in local marketing services that people in our community have sold. So a big pat on the back to everybody out there that's taking action, that's closing deals, you know, big, small, everything in between. It's awesome to see that success inside the Facebook group. And I know it gives a lot of other sharks motivation, right? To get out there to do something, to take some action, to implement these things. And we really appreciate everyone's willingness to share that stuff with our group. So congratulations. Thanks very much, guys.
What was that number again there, Tom?
The 90-day one or which one?
Both of them.
So 2,260 last week. And then our grand total over the past 3 months is, hold on, Sushan is putting it in there. So I have the exact number because I know I'm off. Looked like it's going to be $392,108 over the past 90 days.
Wow.
Yeah, that's amazing, huh?
That's massive. I never would have thought that would have happened when we started this group.
I know. It's really awesome to see that. Like, just to see people having success and doing things and getting traction. It's fantastic. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, Patty said, "What's the review badge?" She must have. That was our last launch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, why? Oh no, the name is escaping me. Why can't I think of the name? Authority Accelerator, right? Authority Accelerator.
If you go to our website, Patty, you'll find the Authority Accelerator page, and you can go check it out there. Today, we're going to talk about really building a remote business, which you can with Authority Accelerator. But I don't know who was on the webinar on Wednesday. Put a 1 in the comments if you are. Let us know if you are a Remote Millionaire member, if you're a partner and you're on this training. I know that Richard is, and we have at least one. There's always a little lag there, Tom, with StreamYard comments. See Dorn as well. What's up, Dorn? Patty was there. Have any questions? Does anybody have any questions on that? You know, there's a lot that we went over, and then there's a lot that we didn't go over. You know, my goal for that webinar and that training wasn't, there's Bill too. Hey, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
There's a lot that we didn't go over because there's a lot you can do, right? And on that webinar, I really want to just kind of keep it to the basics. But I think one of the things that we wanted to share on this live, Tom, or are we ready to jump kind of into that?
Yeah. Let's jump in. Let's do it.
I think one of the big things, the big aha moments that would be great to share. I want to do 2 things. I want to show everybody what one of the systems looks like that we have running to bring in clients. So I just want to show them kind of like the back end of the agency with some of those advertising strategies that have leads coming in. So I want to do that. But I also want to just go over the strategy of how we use experts to help us get all of our services that we sell fulfilled without really having to put any money down. Because I know that was such a big game changer for us, which is why I called it game changer number 1 in my presentation. But I think for a lot of people, it really is just a mindset thing, and it can be such a big obstacle in your way. Because who here right now on this live is selling some sort of a service, whether it's, websites or SEO, or maybe it's a reputation, maybe you're using a software tool. Are you doing everything by yourself still? Are you a one man or woman team, army, whatever or are you
solopreneur? They like to call it, right? Solopreneur.
Because that's where we were at one point, and then we started hiring, right? We started hiring people, other experts that were great at things that we wanted to sell, better than us. Tom and I mean, we're actually not that great of, web developers. I don't know if you guys know that. We're not that great. We're actually not that great at Google, at running Google ads. Like, I can run Google ads. I can do just enough to be dangerous, but there are a lot more qualified and better people out there than me or Tom for that matter. And I see a lot of people are. James is still all by himself. Somebody else is solo. Dorn says he's a lone gunman. Dorn, I don't know. You're not.
I think Lucy may disagree with that.
Yeah. I think. Chandra says solopreneur. So here's the thing. There are tons of people out there that you can have help you with your services. And the big mindset shift for Tom and I was that when we were getting clients, we thought that we had to, if we wanted to outsource, we had to put money down. We had to take money out of our wallet and then give it to an expert in order to have them help us with these services. But the big shift for us was we started reaching out to businesses, right? Selling jobs, selling services, collecting money, and then using that money to pay other experts for the services. And so Richard is one of our Remote Millionaires partners. We didn't ask him to be here. I definitely didn't ask him to put this comment in, but he says he used to be solo. Now he has a team of 8. Now he has a team of 8 people. And so that level right there of having 8 people is really where you start to unlock some freedom, right? So imagine if you had someone on your team helping you do prospecting, meaning reaching out to businesses for you on your behalf. That could be through phone, through email, through direct message. And imagine you also had another person to help you with the work of whatever that service is, like the heavy lifting. So let's just use websites as an example, because we all have built a website or in one way or another, right? Or one form or another, whether it's a template or you had one already kind of set up that you just gained access to. If you have somebody that helps you build websites and you have somebody that reaches out to people asking them if they need a website, where does that leave you in the equation? You're like the person in the middle, right? You're just the person in the middle, kind of making sure everything is happening. You're the middleman. You're the go-between. And, that's just I know it's a simple thing. I know a lot of you are probably pretty familiar with that, but I know a lot of you might not be. I saw a number of people here that are still doing things themselves, which, the only reason you should be doing something yourself is if, I don't think there's a reason. Is there a reason, Tom?
Well, I mean, I think there's a couple of scenarios where you want to do some things yourselves. One, you want to kind of become familiar with the processes, right? Okay. But you don't have to you don't have to be the expert in everything you're doing, right? So maybe if you're more comfortable with the prospecting and the outreach, maybe that's something you do yourself in the beginning, and you bring people on to do the fulfillment for you. That way you can focus on what you should be focusing on, bringing in more clients, bringing in more revenue so that you can grow this thing, right? As you start to grow, then obviously, you may want to work yourself out of that equation. Or maybe you're a fulfillment person, and so you bring somebody on to do the outreach, the prospecting, those things, and you handle the fulfillment in the background until you get your processes down so that you can bring people on to do that stuff as well. So I think there are some scenarios where you may want to do some things. Maybe you just want to keep more of the money, right? So like you just you very sparingly bring team members on so that you can do that because you're willing to, you're willing to work more in the business. Or maybe, you don't want to do that. So it's really like up to what kind of business you want to build, what kind of lifestyle you want to create. And then the tools and the things like, building a team and prospecting and all that stuff, you can use those in any combination you want to get to whatever type of lifestyle that you want to have.
Yeah. And the end of the day, it's really just having the choice, because I can tell you, as somebody who has generated passive income, has a bunch of passive income coming in, there's this huge demand for passive income, right? There's a lot of marketing going on for people that want passive income. And I think that's great. I don't know how truly passive all the income people talk about really is passive. Like a real form of passive income is a stock, right? You have stocks, you put money in it, you get dividends. That's passive. You really don't have to do anything. But there is more like the passive income that I know that most people talk about now, and then the reason I'm bringing this up, Tom, is because that's like the goal that most people push and that they're sold and looking for. It's more managed passive, right? Active passive income, I guess you could call it. Like for me in my agency, it's not 100% passive in the sense like I still wake up in the morning, I check emails. I still kind of like check in with people on my team, see what they're doing. Sometimes they might have questions for me. So it's kind of actively passive, I guess you could say. But I'm not doing any of the work, And I think the reason I'm saying that, though, is because a lot of people want that, but I don't know if you really want that once you get it. Because if you have nothing to do, life seems pretty boring, in my opinion, And I personally, I like working on stuff, I'm passionate about marketing, I'm passionate about building businesses. I'm passionate about, the things that we do. And so not having any of those things to do isn't a very fun way to kind of go about life. So, but it really comes down to having that choice, being able to have that choice.
Yeah, well, and you see a way bigger push into things like passive income and stuff like that right now with what has kind of been termed in the marketplace as the Great Resignation, right? Which is what we kind of theme the show around, which is this idea that the pandemic and all the things that have happened have really made people, forced people to really take a look at their work and what they do with their time and what they want to do with their time. And we're definitely in an era now where, people are looking to have a business, a source of income. I don't even have to say a business, a source of income that supports the lifestyle, right? Like, traditionally you think like, oh, somebody wants to be successful. They go out, they hustle, they work 12 hours a day, 365 days a year. They do that for 10, 15, 20 years. They amass this massive amount of money and then they're done, right? And where now it's more of like hey, look, we want something that's going to bring in income that's going to allow us to fund the things we want to do now, not down the road, right? Like not in retirement. Like, I'm 48 now, like I can still do things. I want to do things now while I can, not wait till I'm not so hip on traveling, right? Like, so, so many more people are looking for that type of thing. And people have always been looking for that stuff. It's become a little more prominent with everything that's been going on with people being forced out of work and reevaluating things. And, they've termed it the Great Resignation. But, I think the type of business that we run with the digital agency and the marketing and all that stuff is a great way to do that. And it's a way that most people can kind of, can do, because again, like we sort of said in the beginning, nothing is particularly hard about it. Like not saying it's not challenging, not saying you don't have to put in effort, but for most people and with the availability now more than ever of, like Nick talked about, people that can do these things, that are actively looking to do these things for you. It's just, it's a great time to build that type of business.
It is. And that's why we dubbed it the Great Resignation, because last year, so many people started working from home. And there are a lot of stats. I forgot which company had this stat that I read the other day. It was one of the big tech companies that were basically allowing people to work remotely like continue to work remotely, ongoing beyond, the situation that we've been in for the last however long, but they would have to take somewhat of a pay cut, right? They would just get paid less if they wanted to work remotely. I'm pretty sure it was Google. I want to say it was Google, but you'll have to double check that. And the reason that is happening though, is because, I don't know. Did anybody have this? Did anybody have an in-person job pre-pandemic and then get to work remotely? And then now you have to go back because that's what happened, right? Once people got that taste of working remotely and saw that they were able to do their job from home and how much freedom that gave them, that they wanted to stay there, right? And then this article I read the other day about people taking the pay cut, like people are like all right with that pay cut. They actually they said they're going to cut their pay, Tom, and they're like, well, it's worth it for me to stay home and take a little bit of a pay cut because then I can do other things too. And so there are a lot of people, there's this huge shift. Somebody says, yes, now I quit, right? And that is a great example of what we're talking about, because there's never been a better time than ever before to build a remote business. And a remote business is one that you can build and grow, and the business continues to grow regardless of where you are or where your actual place of work is. Like, for example, we have an office in Hawaii. Tom is in Las Vegas. I am in New York City. But we have been still, and I was just recently in Denver. We have still been losing clients. We have still been getting clients. We have still been delivering our services for clients. And so that's, the idea behind a remote business. And the other piece of that is that people that we have been working with and prospecting and reaching out to, they are more likely now to work with somebody that's out of state, because there are a lot of other areas of their business that they have been working with people that are out of state. So I feel like personally, prospecting has been significantly easier out of state, because in the beginning of COVID, we were prospecting a lot in Hawaii, which is kind of difficult, right? With our economy being shut down, no tourism coming in. It's kind of hard to sell SEO to a surfing lesson company if there's nobody to give surfing lessons to, right? So we had to kind of think outside the box and start prospecting in other parts of the world. And it's been a lot easier because nobody, like when I prospect and I call somebody and they see a number from Hawaii, usually, or at least my thinking was that they wouldn't really want to work with me. But now they're like, you're in Hawaii? Like that's a great way to actually get somebody to answer the phone. They get a number from Hawaii calling.
That's a good point. Well, and I think what you said there, Nick, ties in really well to what you were going to show them. Like, we're talking about that prospecting outside of the state, what we're doing. I think now'd be a good time to give people a peek behind the hood and show them kind of what you're doing.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do my best to just show you one of the areas of how we get clients and how we get prospects without having to give you too much of the previous stuff, right? So what I want you to know before I dive into this is this method is something that I've only ever taught before in our Remote Millionaires Partnership Program. And so at Offline Sharks, we have a lot of great strategies on getting our foot in the door. That's almost what all of our strategies are that we share. Like whenever we do a product launch or something like that, it's usually based off of Tom or myself or somebody on our team or something that we have done in our community where we have gone out and done something great to get our foot in the door with a business and bring them on as a client, right? So that's usually what our courses are all about. And so this Remote Millionaires Partnership Program, the reason I've only taught this there before is because this isn't so much as just a foot in the door strategy. This is more of a ongoing thing, right? This is like clients. It's an ongoing steady stream of clients. So let's see, where should I start with it? I guess maybe I could give you the end result and then give you some of the way that I got there. And I'll try not to spend too much time on it. I'll just let you know what's kind of possible here. Does that sound good, everybody? Does that sound good? So this is a paid way that we get customers. What's up, Norm? Norm is here as well.
Norm.
Norm is also a remote millionaire partner. So what you're looking at, everybody, is my pipeline, right? This is where myself, my project manager, my marketing assistant, my account coordinator, our salespeople, at any given point, they can come into this pipeline and see how many leads that we've had come in, and see how many leads that have been called, like courtesy called, or if we have had an appointment with them, if they're scheduled on our calendar to speak with a salesperson, or if you're the salesperson, how many people have not shown up. So that's what or to their appointments. So that's what these columns are, right? So let me zoom in a little bit so you can see it. So this first column here, right, is leads that are coming in. They're not scheduled on our appointment yet, but they have opted in to get more information about what we're doing. And this column is a courtesy call. Any of those leads that come in, they get a phone call from our appointment setter that says, hey, thanks for your interest in Nick Ponte Marketing and what we're doing, whatever the campaign is that we're running. And they will reach out and say, it looks like you haven't scheduled your strategy session yet. Would you like to schedule your strategy session? And every time that one of those people gets scheduled, their card in this column gets moved to the scheduled column, which is over here. So you can see, if I zoom out, this is the scheduled column right here. So right now, we have 3 people scheduled. We have 3 people scheduled to hear more about our products and services. And I've actually tapered back on this because we have a lot going on right now. But at any given point, like I said, somebody can come in here and see where the leads are at, right? If they haven't showed up to their appointment, they go in this column. If we call them one time and they haven't sold them, then they are unsold and they're in this column. Is everybody with me so far? You can see we have a sold column as well. These are all sold. And so one thing that I want to pause on here is I know a lot of people talk about building an agency and having a very successful 6-figure, 7-figure agency. I know a lot of internet marketers, product creators, course creators, influencers out there talk about that stuff, but they usually don't actually have something like this. And I can tell you that our pipeline, some of our AGM members, they're familiar with this pipeline because it looks very similar for AGM. It's a prospecting method. It's a way that you have leads coming in all the time. We also have a free method of prospecting where it doesn't involve any money to get more leads, because in this situation, we are spending money on ads to bring in these leads. So I want to show you some of those numbers because I think that that's important. Is there anything, before I jump into that, Tom, is there anything you wanted to hit on, or are we doing good?
No, I know you'll probably touch on it a little bit, but like when you say opt in, like we have a piece of like bait content out there that gets people to opt in, and that's how they end up in that lead column, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And just so you, like, I want to throw something else out there. I've learned how to set this up and run paid advertising from somebody else, right? Like I had a mentor in this. Some of you might know him. His name is Paul James. He's taught me how to do some of this stuff. And so that's an example of me learning from somebody that is doing something that I want to be doing to bring that into my business. So for the 50 people that we have here, do you have a bottleneck in your business? That's an actual question to you. Do you have a bottleneck in your business? Is the bottleneck getting more leads? Is it getting more, closing those leads? Is it actually delivering the service or the product for those leads? What's the bottleneck? Maybe you can put that in the comments for us. What is the bottleneck? So those bottlenecks, whatever they are, can be solved by getting more skills, getting access to more information. And usually you can get access to the information from somebody that's doing that thing really well. And so for us, for Tom and I, it's building remote businesses, agencies. And here's an example of how, we're doing our client acquisition ongoing.
Yeah. One thing that's interesting, Nick, I just want to chime in for a second here. This is a thing I read the other day, which I thought was really, it was just like, of course, if you're like on this live or you've been trying to get a business going and you're not making $100,000 a year yet, if you're not hitting that 6-figure mark, people ask us all the time, what should I be focusing on? And a mistake people make is thinking it's a service, thinking it's a particular method of prospecting. The reality is, if you're not making 6 figures a year yet, the number one thing you need to be investing in is learning the skills that lead to making 6 and 7 figures, right? That's the number one thing. So, what we're talking about here are the skills that get you there. So if you look at this and you go, oh my God, it looks complicated. It's not particularly super complicated. It's just like anything else. It's a learned skill. And so if you're not at that income level yet of 6 figures, I guarantee you probably the reason is you're missing some skills to get you there, right? And so we got to start going through and learning those skills. And that's one of the big things we do inside Remote Millionaires, right? We go through those skills. So Nick's going to walk you through this, and I will shut up, Nick. I won't say anything else.
No, it's all good. And it's true though. It really is. And I know when I made the decision to start working on my business from home, I didn't really know that there were a lot of people out there that you could learn from at this capacity, right? And so that information is out there. And, if you're in this group, if you're in this live, depending on where you're watching it, Tom and I, we've created a infrastructure to support our Remote Millionaire partners at this level, at this like hand-holding white glove capacity. We've got a number of them here on this call with us, which is amazing that they're here with us hanging out too. John says actually that this is why he signed up for Remote Millionaires. He wants the leads, the standard operating procedures. Man, I could have talked about that too. Narrowing out the scope and outsourcing the rest, which is, that's all beautiful stuff and all stuff that you learn there. So anyway, I want to jump back to this. I want to show you how, we've been filling this pipeline. So let me make sure that you all kind of get the higher level view of this. And I know that right now, it's funny, Tom, my appointment setter right now, everybody is in this pipeline calling leads right now, because you can see that all the leads that were in this column are gone. They're all gone because she has been making those calls. And when I hit refresh, now they're all gone. So of those 10 leads that came in or whatever they were, they have now either been called and scheduled or not scheduled. But at least right now, we know that they're moving along the sales process, right? So how did we get them in that column? We've been running ads. We've been running simple ads. A lot of those leads right now are for a specific industry. So we've niched down to a specific industry. And if you look at this ad campaign, this one here, we've spent $226 over the last 12 days, and we've gotten 271 landing page views. 271 landing page views. So that landing page looks like this, everybody. One second. I'm forgetting the link off the top of my head.
I'm not going to tell you.
Here it is. I got it. Nope, this isn't it. Here, I'm going to pull it up in my platform here. 1 second. By the way, all of our partners get all of these things, right? They get all these assets. So you're gonna laugh when you see this landing page, everybody. When you see how basic and how simple it really is. When I said all you have to do is the basics, I truly meant it. This is the landing page. How to get more carpet cleaning jobs in the next 30 days. That's it. So when somebody clicks on this, so they see my ad first, right? They get taken to this page where I teach them how to get more carpet cleaning jobs in 30 days, meaning I am going to show them how to run advertising to get more leads for their carpet cleaning business, right? And that can be done through paid ads. It can be done through SEO. It can be done through email marketing. It can be done through a number of ways. I don't really tell them what that is. I just want them to sign up. It does. Somebody says it's pretty basic. If it gets leads and converts, what matters? Yeah. I don't really want to spend a lot of time on a landing page. If it works, then there's no reason to, right? So when somebody opts into this, I collect their email, I collect their phone number, we collect some information, and they immediately get added to this pipeline, right? The one that I showed you here, which I'm going to pull up again. So they immediately get added to the pipeline in the lead in column. And as soon as they opt in, they get taken to I have so many links that takes me a minute. Let's do this. So once they opt in, they get taken to this page, which is a 10-minute video of slides where I just talk to them about marketing. You need to Google My Business page. You need to have a website. You need to have these things set up in order to get more carpet cleaning customers. It's good information. It's very simple. I'm not on camera. It's just slides, me talking into the slides. And in that presentation, I say, if you want more information on how to get more cleaning customers, this is exactly what we do. Hit the button below and schedule your free strategy session. So when they hit that button, they immediately are able to book a call with us. And so that's how we have this pipeline set up. We have leads coming in, we have courtesy calls going out, and we have people scheduled, and then we get clients. And if I'm not there, the leads are coming in. I don't have to be reaching out to businesses. This is one way that we get clients at Remote Millionaires. Obviously, there's quite a bit that can go into this. If you have the step-by-step process, it's very easy to set up. It's not technical. You just need to be able to set it up. So it's one of the things that I just want to clue everybody in on this live is like, when you see people or hear about people having a business, one of the main things that they need is to be able to control their lead flow. Put a 1 in the chat if you have control of your lead flow. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't feel like you have very much control of your lead flow. And I'll pull one more stat up because I have some even more aggressive ads in this same campaign, and I'll pull them up for like, I don't know, a month back, so I can give you a full 30-day skew of like actual opt-ins and conversions. Let's see. Let's do this one. So in a 30-day period for this campaign, everybody, I paid $13 per lead. I spent, and you can see this in the bottom here, I spent $2,500, right? And we got 185 people that opted in. That's 185 conversions. What do you guys think about that? If you had 185 people that came in to your pipeline, and you got about, I don't know, 20 of those scheduled and on the phone, and you closed 10% of them, or 30 of them scheduled and you closed 10% of them, 20% of them. I can tell you that I paid $2,500 for these leads, but I made about $6,000 in one-time fees. I think that month I sold 3 Google ad campaigns, a website, and was at around $6,000 in cash collected for the month. And then, not to mention, month after month, we had 3 campaigns that were paying about $800 in management fees. So even in month 1, being profitable, but also in the future months, we're still very profitable.
Man, that's impressive. I mean, that's life-changing, right? Like 2 to 3 clients a month can be a life-changing thing.
And again, it's not, so I know that was kind of a lot, Tom. I hope I didn't like scare anybody away. Is anybody excited about that? Who's excited about that kind of that kind of system.
I think it's good for people to see really what goes on under the hood, right? Like, especially if you're serious about building a business and creating this type of lifestyle, right? It's time to like take off the rose-colored glasses and see the reality of what goes on and what you want in place to make those things happen, right? And again, none of, it may kind of look complicated if you're new to all this, but if you just start going through and learning these skills one by one, just like we did, right? Before you know it, it'll be easy for you, just like it's easier for us now.
Yeah, I spent about 2 weeks recording step by step everything that it takes to put that together. And our partners, they just get all that, right? They get the landing pages. There's so much that goes into that you don't even know about. Like when people opt in, do they get emails? All the things that go on even more behind the scenes. But I just wanted to give you the end result and see what is possible. And that's just one way. And Ralph says, is that a nationwide campaign or is that local? That campaign right there that I showed you, Ralph, we got clients in Detroit, Atlanta, Florida, California, all while I was traveling. Like, I didn't meet anybody face to face, never met them in person. They know our office is in Hawaii. There's a number of them. Like I actually hopped on the phone with a couple of them and closed them. A number of them got closed by other people, salespeople, right? Because it's a system. It's a system, right? So on Wednesday, I shared more about this system. This is a little bit of a different angle than what I shared on the presentation on Wednesday. So if you're on this live right now and you like what I'm showing you, you want to see more of the fundamentals that goes behind this and how you can get this set up for you, go to the link. Tom, can you pull up the link? Watch the replay of the training we did on Wednesday. Richard says, being a partner is like getting Nick's little black book of secrets. It is because let's be honest, everybody. We over deliver like hell in our launches, right? In our product launches, like our last launch, Authority Accelerator, the one before that, the Quick Start Agency, how to get a client in a weekend, the one before that, Yellow Brick Road. We over deliver. Like our brand at Offline Sharks was built on the backbone of Tom and I over delivering like hell for a $27 product. Like you cannot get that kind of information anywhere else. But the reality of it is we can't invest all of our time every single day and our infrastructure and all of our resources and put it all in a $27 product, right? We have to grow a business too. So, those products are great. Use them to get your foot in the door, build up a base of clients, get some cash flow coming in. That's great too. Or if you want like the real hand-holding process where you have the skills, the accountability, and the mentorship, that's what our Remote Millionaires Partnership Program is really all about. And you can get more information on that in the training that we did on Wednesday. It's about an hour long. And then there's Q&A at the end of that hour. And yeah, I know Tom and I, it's one of the things we've been most excited about because it's where we're able to actually work with people so much more closely and see the change and see the transition. Because when you can work with somebody every week, hold them accountable, check in on them. Hey, I told you to do this last week. I gave you all the materials and I said, go do this and you did it or you didn't do it. That's when you see the big change come in. And I think that's where Tom and I, it's been more where the passion has flown like for us in that direction. So that's kind of why we've been making this shift to really, really work directly with people.
Yeah, it's been really awesome. So a couple of things, Nick, we have to do. I know we're coming up on the top of the hour here, and I wanted to talk about a couple of things. But before we do that, I do want to do one thing. We need to shout out our member of the week. So every week we pick somebody from the Facebook. They become our member of the week, right? And we send them a little box of Shark Treasure Chest swag. You guys may see some pictures of Nick holding it in the Facebook group. And today, our member of the week, I'm going to pull this picture up so you guys can see it. Oh, there's the swag. I haven't gotten mine yet. Oh,
it's because you're not our member of the week.
Well, I should be member of the week, Nick. I should be.
Ooh, this thing is nice.
This week,
So
our
nice.
member of the week is Mr. Dennis Mathis.
Yes, Dennis.
Dennis, congratulations. Dennis was engaging in the Facebook group all week, sharing win, asking questions, engaging with other sharks, just basically being a good steward of our community. And so we wanted to reward Dennis. Thanks, man. We got somebody from the team will reach out to you. They'll get your info. You get you that box of Shark Treasure swag sent your way. You're going to love it. A lot of nifty little tools in there. So if you guys can just give Dennis a big congratulations here in the stream as well, that'd be awesome. And then, Nick, before we kind of wrap this up, one of the things that we mentioned in the email was about starting over. So I want to make sure we talk about that real quick. We mentioned in the email about what you would do if you were starting over.
So are you asking me?
I'm asking you. It said Nick. It didn't say Tom was going to share it. It said Nick. Okay. I was like, oh.
Well, I didn't know if you were going to riff. I didn't know if you were going to go, you're the master at that. So I kind of touched on this earlier, everybody. If I were to start over, what I would do is identify somebody in the market that I want to get in, right? If I wanted to become good at basketball, I would do two things. I would practice, but I would get a good coach. I'd get a good coach and I would practice. So the same is for business. I treat it like being an athlete. If I want to get good at building a business, I would get a good coach and I would practice. And so if I had to start over, that's exactly what I would do, because I didn't have that opportunity back in the day, right? I was off on my own, going into the weeds very often and hitting my head against the wall, finding myself trying lots of different things, having no success, wasting my time, getting overwhelmed, chasing different shiny objects, right? What I would do is find a very small circle of focus, like the one that my friend Nash gave me here. Very small circle of focus. And the only thing that I would put in that circle of focus is growing your business, right? And stay focused on that one thing, and do it with one thing. If it's turning on some paid advertising, just do the paid advertising. Don't do anything else. Just do that one thing. And so starting all over again, find somebody that has the business you want, the lifestyle you want. See if you can work directly with them, get the playbook and implement it for yourself. And that way you just shortcut everything that they've ever had to do, and you can get that implemented for yourself. What about you, Tom? What would you do?
No, I mean, I think that's great advice. I've actually been, there's some other things I've been wanting to do to grow our business and things like that. And the thing that I've been doing recently is looking for a coach. Like, that's exactly what I've been doing. Cause I was like, look, like if I want to do these things and I really want to get to the next level, like, I have a lot of stuff going on. Like, I need that accountability. I need that person to just show me the way. Like, I don't want to spend my days like trying to figure out the basic parts. I just want somebody to say like, look, here's the basics. Here's what you do. And then like, just like you said, practice and get better at them. So yeah, I think you're spot on with that.
Yeah. And it doesn't stop, right? Like, I have coaches, you have coaches, we get to the next level. Maybe we surpass our coach. We need a new coach. Keep growing. Don't stop growing. You have to really just keep going. So the thing about finding a coach is you want to find somebody that's real, that's credible, that's actually doing what you're doing, right? You don't want somebody that is a fake guru, right? Like a fake guru that will tell you what to do, but they've never really done that thing for themselves, or they say they are doing something, but they're actually not. So beware of that. And you just want to make sure that person you're following is credible, right? They're going to give you the right information, stuff that's actually relevant, that's fresh, and they know how to help you to overcome whatever it is you're facing. And usually the people that are in your industry that are a few levels ahead, those are the people that you want to model.
Yeah. And I think probably the last thing I would say is like, look, we have a lot of the tools, the resources, the things inside the offline Sharks community to get you started, right? A lot of our courses, our products, the things we do in the group, all those things, a lot of free stuff to get you started, to get you on the path to where you want to go, those types of things. Remote Millionaires is really like our highest level of involvement and support and all those things. And so, we did the webinar on Wednesday because we're looking for a few good partners. And if you think you're one of those, and by the way, there's a very specific reason that we call them partners and not coaching. And I think we should touch on that real quick, because this really is not, there is coaching involved in the program, right? Obviously, we're going to show you what to do, all those things, but it really is a partnership, right? It really is a partnership in that, like any business partnership, there's a part you have to do, the parts you're expected to do. And then we give you that support to make those things happen, right? And because, we want people to get to that level and to do those things, we're willing to shoulder the majority of the risk for that. So it really is an awesome way to not only get all of the systems, processes, and all those things that you need in the support to build the business, but also to do it with as little, with a minimum risk on your part, right? We're going to shoulder most of that burden for you until you actually start becoming successful and generating. And we talk about that in the training. So, you want to go to offlinesharks.com/fortune. We explain what that's all about, how it works, all that stuff, and watch that. And if you, and really, you have to be serious, right? So look, if you're serious and you feel like you're a good fit, fill out an application. We'd love to talk to you. And yeah, that'd be great. But watch the training first. It'll answer a lot of questions for you. And then, Nick, we need to do this.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Cheating, bling, bling, got the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
Woo, let's give away some Cash App money. Oh, you're muted.
At the beginning of the stream, everybody, we asked you all to go out to our shout out post and congratulate everybody that was an action taker in the week prior. So we picked 2 people at random. If you missed that, you should be here at the beginning of the stream. That's when we give out that link to the shout outs. And so our winners that we're going to send Cash App money to are 2 people randomly out of that list of people that congratulated everyone. And they are Mr. Dorn Brenton and Kim Senny. Congratulations.
Oh, congratulations. Awesome. Congratulations. And hey, thanks everybody for tuning in for another Friday Aloha Marketing Jam session. We had a great time. You had great questions. Hope you got great value out of the information we shared. If you have other questions, you can ask them in the Facebook group. You can reach our support desk, offlinesharks.com/support. Have a great weekend out there. Stay safe. Practice aloha. We will see you here next Friday. Same shark time, same shark channel, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend.
You've been listening to the Sharks Live Show, your weekly marketing jam session. Always bringing you the latest strategies and tactics to build your remote business from anywhere in the world. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this stream. You can stay up to date throughout the week with Nick's YouTube videos at nickponte.com/YouTube and Tom's podcast at tomgaddis.com. We'll be back here next Friday for another Sharks Live Show. Until then, aloha.